than the job of teaching, another world than the world of the academic world would be a very nice way to go, but I don't know how.
I think the teacher is very important role in successfully implementing STEM education in school. In Vietnam now, teachers focus on teaching the separate subject at school. So in STEM, we have interdisciplinary approach. So they have to sit together to design a topic to STEM activity. And in my research, the teachers should have some competency to implement STEM education. The first one is that they have knowledge and skill and career of STEM field in general education. They have a main major in one subject, but they know in general another subject in STEM. The second competency is they have skill to design STEM lesson plan or STEM education activity. The first one is they have collaborate with other teachers to design and implement STEM education. The next one is they have to making connection between school and other organizations to get support. And the last one is they have skills for consulting students on their career orientation. That's the 5 sub-competency I think the teacher STEM should have in the coming time.
Yeah, there's a scale of standards for teachers. Is that higher than general, or that is something that's more specific? Is it higher, or that is just be small?
No, I think it's
more
not,
specific.
Not higher. Yeah. That in general, when the context of STEM education in Vietnam, not higher than standard.
Yeah, so but when you list out, I feel it's quite a lot of requirement for teachers in order to implement successful STEM education. So we already mentioned about how university and company and parents can support STEM education. Like parents, maybe they can donate some money, or they can make the connection happen. Maybe it's better than companies, so we can host the visit of students, etc. Universities, they may maybe take more role, but as Charles mentioned, it's mostly in terms of project based. So the university company apply for a certain project, certain money to run, and then when money is out, then everything gone. So is there any mechanism, is there many other ways which is more sustainable for university, for industry to really to support school to run, in addition to kind of project-based event?
I'm not sure how you can make it sustainable, because it requires investment on both sides. There needs to be a sense for industry that they're getting something out of it. I mean, everybody needs to be rewarded or having some sort of benefit from the engagement. So if there's to be an event, and if it's sponsored by industry, then they need to be able to see some sort of connection or benefit for them in the long run, or for society if they're a benevolent sort of fund, organisation. There needs to be some recognition or reward or something or other for the engagement, I think. And it needs to be beyond just those students that might go to university in STEM fields. Because we need the whole community to actually understand the benefit. Not everybody's going to go into a STEM field, but in terms of generational cycles, the parents of the next generation of children need to value STEM, even if they're not in STEM fields themselves. So I think we need to develop those events so that they don't just excite and enliven those students that may head toward a career in STEM. It needs to excite and seem important to all students, And we tend to have also this sense that STEM fields are elite fields for the smartest, and I think that that's a dangerous thing to do for when we're thinking about exciting curiosity and addressing the problems of real world society. But again, it's just my opinion.
Yeah. So of course it's a kind of hidden link between different stakeholders. So everyone aware of it. But if we have a relevant policy to make it more explicit connection, that of course school make the input for university and university make another input for industries. It really is a link. So, but how to make a better connection which is more sustainable? Then now we come to the policy sections. So there's a few, but we think about what is the recent policy for STEM education and what we want to recommend more for at least the two partners. So first of all is ministries of education who can make the legal document to forge, to encourage every school to, and what kind of the side partners like university, I think the most important, what they can do to support school education. And please also the audience, you already listened to the whole discussion, please also contribute to some kind of recommendation. So the discussion first or you first? Yeah, wonderful.
I need to mention that I'm not from a STEM background. I'm not a STEM teacher. I'm a language teacher educator working in Monash University in Australia. So I've heard a lot of important points raised by the discussants and the chair as well. But one thing is missing, that is missing, I think, is the importance of STEM teachers working with language teachers, especially in the context of Australia, where we have a lot of migrants and a lot of refugee students in the classroom who do not have a very high level of language, who even come, some of them even come with no prior English knowledge and proficiency at all. So it is very important, I think, for STEM teacher to be able to work alongside language teacher to break down the language of STEM content and come up with resources that are suitable to those very low-level students in the classroom. So that's one of the point that I asked to discussion.
Yeah, there's also a specific recommendation for Australians. Yeah.
I would be very happy to comment on this, and I think, thank you very much. I think it's a very important point. And I would like to tell you one short story about this. A few years ago in France, in this project of having teachers working together towards STEM, but not only, as I mentioned, there was other teachers. We wanted to have also a French teacher, so language, French teachers coming and working the team. And these teachers were sitting together, and then the French teacher said, but I would like to work with the science teachers, but the problem, and science and technology teachers, but the problem is the curriculum in the year she was teaching is about imagination. So you have to understand that doesn't have anything to do with science and technology. So, I mean, this, obviously my intention is not to lower down this French teacher, but it's just to stress in France certainly, that there is, it seems as if it's two different worlds that needs to be talking because they don't understand each other. And this is a very long work to do. To also express the fact that when you're doing a science and technology project, you do require a mastery of language and argumentation and choices, and I think you're working with stories, for example, which is a very interesting, in Germany they have a very good example, maybe you could tell us about it. So all these elements of getting to know each other between the different teachers and what teachers do is very important to go toward this more holistic approach of education, I think.
So maybe the discussion want to add more and the audience want to add more. It's kind of a recommendation, even true from knowledge or from universities. Maybe Martin Hyde, you work a lot on higher education too. So recommendation for, please, you.
A couple of our panel have mentioned it, but I think unless you change the assessment system at senior secondary, you don't change anything.
Absolutely. Did you want to respond? No, I'll take it on another track.
No, I'm just responding in general to the call.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. So I'd like to make a recommendation for higher education in terms of teacher education. I think it is going to be effective if teacher education could provide opportunity for pre-service teachers in STEM and language to collaborate in developing materials and developing lessons and even curriculum for STEM students before they actually go out into the school. That way they are prepared to do collaboration, and they we can raise the awareness about the importance of collaboration in that sense as well.
Yes, so it actually connects to the assessment of teacher education as well.
Yeah,
I think. Yes. The gentleman behind you.
Thank you. I think it's the STEM education is there. We change the same issue because it's a study about people from the other countries like US. They also mentioned about why the job for the STEM field and the salary is high, but the student not focused on. I mean, the pupils when studying general education, but not follow you join in a university or the STEM field, because as we